Oh, hello there. I didn't see you click on the video. You must be here for this thing, right? Ah, who am I kidding? You saw the thumbnail, you clicked on it, you know exactly what you're doing here. As do I know what you're doing here. You're here for the update on the made in Japan Jackson RR3 that was broken and shipping by UPS. Well, I'll go ahead and start the video off by saying I'm happy to report that this thing is in perfect playing condition. So, aside from the shipping damage, which I'll go ahead and show you now, let's go down here to camera 2. And you can see I have glued it back on with some Type Bond. It's a miracle worker, guys. And you can see here, it's still rough. I gotta get it touched up, which, side note on that, I actually have a friend that works at a music shop. He owns the music shop, rather. He's a local guy, his name's Brad. And he is fixing my Strat right now, as I'm recording this video. And he messaged me the other day, or put a comment on Facebook and said, hey, bring it by, I'll get it touched up for you. So Brad, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I will actually leave a link to his store in the description if you wanna go check that out. So really cool there. So let's talk about the condition that this thing came in, because like I said, it was rough. And I talked about it a little bit in the first video about it. So let's start with the headstock here. So with the headstock, yeah, I mean, it's fine. The only really complaint I had about the headstock was it was really dusty and grimy, but you know, what used guitar isn't nowadays. And then the lock nuts were not very tight. Not the biggest deal in the world, but in the box, had there not been bubble wrap around it, they would have been lost. And by that, I mean, I would have assumed that underneath all the packing peanuts in there, these things would have just been thrown into oblivion and I probably wouldn't have looked for them. I just would have assumed it didn't come with them. The next trouble area that I had with this was the neck. The frets were awful. I mean, they were oxidized like crazy. Those were some of the dullest, scratchiest, grimiest frets I've ever seen. And I've played a lot of guitars with bad frets. Those, they just looked horrible. They looked like they had never been polished, anything like that, nothing. But I'm happy to report that they did polish up pretty nice. I just took some steel wool, I think it's like a 0000, you know, whatever, and just polish them up really nice. I can't talk today. And yeah, like I said, they're not perfect, but they are definitely a million times better than they were before. I also mentioned that the neck was bowed like crazy. I mean, it was ridiculous. The action was like 20 miles high, but fortunately the truss rod worked and I was able with a couple of turns to get it straightened out. And again, happy to say it's lightning fast now. Nothing else was really wrong with the body other than the wing damage there. But you know, it's got its wear and tear, it's got its scratches, and it's got a bunch of fingerprints on it where I've been playing it. But other than that, the body was in really good shape. You have a master tone, master volume for each pickup. So there's the bridge, there's the neck, 3-way switch there. You get Seymour Duncan pickup stock in this. There are some of these models that were, I think, earlier iterations that came with Duncan designed. But anyway, Seymour Duncan, it's a JB Jazz. I did take them out whenever I was changing the strings to confirm that that is what that is. And these were, again, the stock pickups that came in it, so there you go. And then obviously on a used Floyd Rose equipped guitar, you're gonna get the Floyd Rose probably not in any kind of playing condition right out the box, and this was no exception. So the Floyd Rose on this was all but recessed into the body. I think I used that exact same line in the first video. It was back pretty much as far as it would go. It was awful. I am glad to say, again, that I was able to get it perfectly leveled off and got the action past the 12th fret pretty manageable here. Again, I think it could do with a little bit of tweaks, but otherwise, for someone that's never really worked on Floyd Roses before, I think I did a pretty good job. So I'm not 100% sure you can see that, but if you can, I think I did a pretty good job. And it also stays in tune too. It took a little bit of playing around with it because my admittedly rookie mistake was not stretching the strings enough. So just a little pro tip, if you change the strings on these, the best advice I can give you, keep your locks unlocked and hit the whammy bar and just bam, 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 after you get everything else set up. Obviously, this will be like the last step. You know, stretch out your strings like normal, just kind of play, fiddle around, retune it. And when you can hit real hard on the trim with the nuts unlocked and it stay in tune, fine tune it, and then lock the nuts. And I'm pretty sure you're gonna stay in tune. I'm sure you'll be good. That's something I had to figure out on my own. I couldn't really find a lot of advice on it because it kept going sharp. And people were saying like, oh, it's the, you know, the pivots here, and it's like, I didn't really think so because the trim looks like it's in good shape. I'm rambling, but I'm giving you a bit of advice. But yeah, there's that. These Japanese Jacksons are my new obsession. I promise you, these things are amazing. I have been on the hunt for the Kelly and the King V. I have a King V, but it's the, I believe it's Indian made. I wanna say it could be Chinese made. Either way, it's a great guitar. And I'm usually one of them people that don't harp on country of origin, but man, the craftsmanship and like the neck of these things and the balance, and then, you know, just the way that everything's seated is phenomenal. There's actually a trick that I found out to finding these things, and I'll probably make a separate video on that because I don't know if I said this before earlier in this video. It's a rabbit hole, it's crazy. But there you go, guys. Just one little last shot here. I'll flip it over to the back. I hadn't really shown you the back. There's the Made in Japan sticker. I don't know if you can see that or not. And I've got the cavity off there. You can see I got it perfectly balanced back there. Then the most metal of straps, my bright blue Flamingo strap that I got off of Amazon. Here you go, guys. There is the follow-up and the short review of this thing. You've heard a little bit of playing throughout the video and everything. It's a great guitar. I mean, damage aside, it doesn't really concern me all that much because fortunately, like I said, the piece was in there. It glued back on nice and easy. I'm able to touch it up and it's gonna be fine. It doesn't affect the way that it plays or sounds. So at the end of the day, I really don't care. And I got a little bit of money back for the inconvenience, so it's a win-win. Again, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, like the video so YouTube knows I'm doing something right. Make sure you go to kyroaudio.com, pick you up a Kooky or Dulo pedal. Again, not sponsored, I'm not making any money off that, just trying to give credit where credit's due. And check the link in the description too for Brad's shop if you want to look and see what services he offers, all that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff in the description. You should just go check it out.